Having a great day. We are live now on Instagram as well. Let me make sure we got our comment in here. There it is. We're going to get started in just a moment. I'm just pulling up all the information we got to pull up. I got my books here in front of me. I'm going to tell you about these in a minute. But as y'all coming in, y'all know what it is. Tell me your name and location in the comment section. We're going to get started in a moment. Y'all know what we do here. We're not wasting a lot of time with the introductions. I'm going to introduce myself in a minute, and then we're going right into this material. So do not sleep. All right. Do not sleep. Do not fall asleep. Do not fall asleep on what we're about to do here, because you don't want to miss nothing that I'm going to be sharing here today. I guarantee you, this is going to help you step your game up, step up whatever it is you got going on. Curtis from the ATL, what's going on as y'all come in? You can tell me your name and location in the comment section. We're going to get started in one moment. I'm just pulling up a note I want to make sure I share here today. So as y'all coming in, again, tell me your name and location in that comment section. We're going to get started in a minute. Your mindset today. The topic is your mindset for getting on in life. Doesn't matter where you at, what you're trying to do. If you're trying to play a sport, you're trying to run a business, you're trying to get a job. If you're trying to get on in life, I'm going to tell you what your mentality needs to be, how you need to apply that mentality, and whatever you have doing. Whatever you are doing. Ben A-Lot says, you helped me out recently. That's what's up. Shout out to you, Ben. You're from the UK, a wrestler. All right, so let's get started. My name is DreBaldwin. For those who don't know me, also known as Dre All Day, former 9-year professional athlete, author of 26. Yes, that is correct. 26 books. I've given 4 TED Talks. You don't know what a TED Talk is? Go to DreAllDay.com/TED, as in like TED, TED, like Tennessee Education Diploma, TED. See my 4 TED Talks, or go to TooMuchConfidence.com. I have created over 15,000 pieces of content. I'm a keynote speaker, coach, consultant, author, trainer, product producer, Uber content creator, and I've published over 15,000, as I said, pieces of content, 7,000 YouTube videos, 7,000 articles, 1,500 podcast episodes. None of those numbers are exaggerated. If anything, those numbers are underreported, not overreported, but underreported. And all that said, I do all this under the Jay from Canada was good. Nelson, what's going on? I do this all under the umbrella, this whole philosophy called work on your game. It's all about taking the mindset that you need to succeed in sports at the professional level. And to be a professional athlete, you got to be in the top 1% of what you do. So I teach you the mentality of being in the top 1% and how you apply that mentality at your school, in your business, at your job, in your everyday life. And if you happen to be an athlete, this is also how you can apply it in sports. So that's what this whole work on your game philosophy is about. And since I've written 26 books, I went and wrote a book called Work on Your Game that explains this whole philosophy, the whole framework and everything. I'll tell you about this later on today. Don't worry about that for now. Right now, let's focus on the topic at hand, which is the mindset that you need to have when you are trying to get on in life. And when I say get on, what I mean by that is to get your opportunity, get somebody to give you a chance to get your foot in the door. That's what I mean when I say get on. So any of you who is trying to get on at something right now, or you can project that sometime in your future, maybe near future, you're going to need to get on somewhere. Excuse me. Take notes on everything I'm going to say here today, because this is going to help you get to the place that you want to get to. Facebook, anybody who's checking on Facebook, hit the share button and hit that like button and leave a comment. Tell me what's the most important thing you got out of this, even if you're watching it later on, because you know this will be on Facebook forever. So I remember back in the day, this is probably about 15 plus years ago, MTV had this show called Making the Band. Some of y'all might remember this. Puff Daddy was the main guy, and he put together a band. He did it either 2 or 3 times, and he put together 2 groups that I can remember. One he put together, he did it, might have been 4 times, but he put together Danity Kane, which was a female singing group, put together Day 26, which was a male singing group, and he put together The Band, which was like a rap / it was just a band. It was a band. So there was some rappers, there was some singers, there was a singer, there was a rapper, there was like I don't even know what this other dude was, but basically it was just a band of diverse musicians, and he put these groups together. And the thing about Making the Band, the one thing that I remember about that show that anybody who remembers the show will definitely remember this, when he was putting together the group that he ended up calling The Band, right, and he got game, he remembers it, he told them one night, and this was for TV, I know he did it for TV, because the MTV producers have a lot to do with this, is they got to get some good, compelling stuff. But this one was good because everybody remembers it. He told the members of the band, it was like 6 of them, hey, I want y'all to go get me some cheesecake, but you can't drive and you can't take a taxi. You got to walk. You got to walk to Junior's Cheesecake, which is in Brooklyn, New York, and get me some cheesecake. And that's not a big deal to walk to the store to get somebody some cheesecake. I mean, I walk every single day. But walking from Manhattan, where they were, to Brooklyn, where the cheesecake place was not a very short walk. This is like an hour plus long walk that these people had to do, all 6 of them. And they were not expecting this. They didn't know this was going to happen. Again, according to the way the show was produced. Now, y'all got to remember, reality TV is not actual reality. It's staged. Something might happen and they didn't get it on camera. They make you do it again, and then they get it on camera, and then they edit it and make it look how they want it to look. For a 30-minute show, they might record 30 hours of video. But everyone remembers this, so it worked for them because, again, I'm bringing it up, and this was damn near 20 years ago. He told them to go walk to the cheesecake spot to get him a slice of cheesecake. And the whole point was not him trying to be a jerk, but it did fit the persona that Diddy had at the time. And it wasn't really about the cheesecake. I don't think he was that hungry for a slice of cheesecake because, look, he had to wait damn near 3 hours for the cheesecake. So if he really wanted some cheesecake, by the time they came back, he probably wasn't even hungry anymore. But the whole point was he was letting them know, listen, when you're trying to get on and you're new and you're unproven and don't nobody know you, you should be willing to do anything and everything to get your opportunity. And I told y'all the story about Diddy when he first got his first internship with this guy named Andre Harrell, who actually just passed away earlier this week. When Puffy was interning at Uptown Records in New York, and at the time he was a college student at Howard University in D.C., he would take the bus or the train or whatever, or a car or whatever, 2 hours to go. D.C. to New York was like a 2-hour trip in a car. So it was probably even longer than that on a bus or a train. He would take that trip a couple times a week to go to New York just so he could work his internship because he was so serious about getting in the game of the hip-hop industry. And when Andre Harrell gave him his first job to do, he said, take this tape down to this office on the other side of Manhattan. And this is back when you couldn't send a tape on the internet. All right, this is when you had to actually take a physical item to somebody else's office. And Andre Harrell said, I got on the phone to take a call after I gave Puffy the tape to take this to the office. He came running back in my office as soon as I got off the phone. And I'm like, what happened to you? Why are you running? Where's the tape at? He said, I took it down there. He said, I already dropped it off. He said, I ran down there and I ran back. Because Andre asked him, how'd you get down there so quick? He said, I ran to the office to drop the tape off and I ran back here, and now what you want me to do? What you want me to do next? Because, and the reason Puff was doing that is not because his boss told him to, but because he was trying to show Andre Harrell, his boss at the time, he's an unpaid intern, he was trying to show him how dedicated and how serious he was about getting his opportunity. And that's what he was trying to teach the members of the band back when they had the Making the Band show. Now, all this is part of the introduction here today, but all of that you need to keep in mind because what I'm going to be talking about here today is going to draft off of the points that I just made to you in this introduction. The topic, once again, is the mindset that you need to have when you are trying to get on in life. Point number 1, no pride, no ego. This is the first thing you need to keep in mind. No pride, no ego. Now, pride is a good thing. Now, pride, depending on how you use it, you want to have pride. If somebody gives you a job, you want to take pride in doing that job. But when I say pride, what I mean is no pride in you are too proud to do something that you think you're too good for, or you think you're too experienced to be doing something. If somebody says to you, yo, drop this tape off, or work in the mailroom, or answer these phones, or clean this bathroom, or go walk to get me a slice of cheesecake. Listen, if you're trying to get on, there's nothing that you're not going to be willing to do. There's a speaker, a well-known guy, a black guy by the name of Les Brown. He tells a story when he was trying to get an internship at like a radio station or office. I think it was a radio station he was trying to get a job at. He kept showing up and they wouldn't give him a job. And when the dude finally decided to give him a job, the first thing he told him to do was go get me some coffee. Now, do you need professional skills to go get somebody coffee? No. But Les Brown was so determined just to get his foot in the door that he was willing to do anything in order to get that opportunity. And I think over time, over the years, more and more people, or less and less people rather, have that same mentality of being willing to do anything and everything just to get an opportunity, just to get your foot in the door. But all y'all need to understand, this is something that I tell the pro basketball players all the time. And when I talk about this book later on, I'll tell you some more things about pro basketball. But I tell pro basketball players, when you're trying to get on, you're trying to get in the pro basketball game, and this is for everybody actually, there's a infinite difference between being in the room and outside of the room. Being in the room, even if you're in the room as an unpaid intern, even if you're the lowest person on the totem pole, even if nobody knows you, even if you have no achievements, no accomplishments, no nothing, but you're in the room, you have infinitely more value than the person who thinks they got all the skills, they got all the pride, they got all the ego, but they're on the outside looking in. Being on the inside is worth a whole lot more than being on the outside, no matter what you got to do to get on the inside. Again, for something that you really want to be doing in life. All right, you don't need to get in the room everywhere, but the places that matter to you, being on the inside is a whole lot bigger than being on the outside. Even if you got to do something like go drop a tape off, or work in the mailroom, or clean the bathroom, or walk to go get somebody a slice of cheesecake and they don't even want it. They're just trying to show you how much power they got. Understand, you got to be willing to do whatever it takes to get your foot in the door. And doing whatever it takes, what that means is you may need to humble yourself in some ways and take an opportunity that may be a little bit less than what you were expecting. Maybe you want to get a job and you want them to pay you a certain amount of money per hour. You want to get paid $20 an hour. Somebody says, look, I'll give you a job, but I can't pay you anything. You can work for 60 days, and if you prove that you're good after 60 days, then we can talk about you getting paid something. It might not be 20, but we'll talk about it after that. If you really want that opportunity and you really want to get in the game, you'll take that opportunity, do what you got to do for those 60 days, and be so good and be so on your hustle and so on point that at the end of that 60 days, maybe even before 60 days is up, that person is like, yo, all right, I want to hire you full time. How much you want? How much do you want to get paid? Because I want to hire you full time to come work here, because they're going to see the value that you bring to the table. This is just a different way of thinking when it comes to creating opportunity. Because I come across a lot of people who claim that they want opportunity in life, but when it comes time to get the opportunity, they have a list of demands that come with their opportunity. I'm going to tell y'all something. I've said this before. I'm going to say it a million times again in the future, that a businessman told me many years ago. He said, Dre, you cannot make demands until you are in demand. If you don't have people demanding your presence, demanding your work, demanding your products or your services, or demanding you, period, understand you are not in a position to make demands. You can't tell somebody what they got to do. Now, if you don't have a job, you can't go to a potential employer and say, well, yeah, I want the job, but you ain't offering me enough money. Well, who are they competing against? If you don't take that job, let's say you want to make $20 an hour, and they say, well, look, we'll give you $10 an hour. And you're like, well, $10 an hour ain't enough. Well, how much money are you going to make if you don't take that job? If you take the job, you're only going to make 10, which is less than you wanted. But if you don't take the job, what you going to make? You're going to make 0, because it's not like you're in a bidding war with 3 or 5 different companies all trying to hire you. You ain't got no prospects. So you got to be willing to take whatever opportunity you can get at certain points in your life just to get your foot in the door. And here's the next step. Once you get your foot in the door, you need to be so on your hustle and so on top of your game that you will never have to do that again. That you can say, all right, now I'm in and I proved myself. Now my next opportunity is going to come find me. Or when I go to my next opportunity, I have a resume. I have a track record. I can show people what I've done. So now when I say, yo, I want this, this, and this, they'll say, okay, because you're proven. You're a proven commodity. All right, the last thing you want to be when you're trying to get your foot in the door in any industry is a nobody with no track record, no references. You haven't done anything. You have no accomplishments under your belt, but then you think you're in a position to demand something. You are not in a position to demand anything unless people are demanding you. Everybody understand that? Point number 2. Topic here today is the mindset that you need to have when you are trying to get on in life. The inconvenient job. This is the second point. The inconvenient job is a job that you want. You want the job that nobody else wants to take. You want the opportunity that everybody else says they're a little bit too good for, or they're not lowering themselves to that level, or they feel like they have more accomplishments than that job is even worth. Understand something. Nobody else will want to do the inconvenient job. And when there's a job that nobody else wants to do, and you're trying to get your foot in the door, that's your opportunity staring you right in the face. Doing the thing that nobody else wants to do. You don't want to work in the mailroom. You don't want to be you want to be a waiter, you want to be the head, the maitre d' at a restaurant, but they tell you to start off, you got to be a busboy, or you got to clean tables, or you got to wash the dishes, or you got to clean the bathrooms, or you got to be a hostess, or you got to park cars at the valet, but you want to be a maitre d', you want to be the head chef. All right, the job that nobody else wants to take on is the one that you should take. I get athletes who would come to me. It doesn't happen as much anymore, but all the time when I was putting out basketball videos, an athlete would come to me and say, Dre, I tried out for my high school team or my college team, and I didn't make the team, but the coach came to me afterwards, after I got cut, and said, look, I'll give you an opportunity to be a team manager. You could be a manager on a team for a year. And y'all know team managers in sports, right? Y'all hand people towels during timeouts. You run and fill up the water bottles. If there's a timeout in a basketball game, you pull the chair out and put it down so the players can sit down. You don't get to dress, you don't get to put a uniform on during the game, but you get a little polo shirt and some khaki pants. And every time a player comes in again, they throw their warm-ups on the ground, you go pick them up. So he got the opportunity to be a team manager. And the coach will say to the player, and this is the player telling me the story, coach told me I could be a manager for a year, and then next year I could be on the team. What do you think of that? Either they would ask me what I think of the opportunity, or they would say, I'll tell you what they would usually say. I'll tell you that in a second. But when they asked me what I thought of the opportunity, I would say take the opportunity. I mean, if you take the opportunity to become a team manager, at least now the coach knows you, the team knows you, you've been hanging around the team for a year, and you proved that you're willing to do something to get your foot in the door. So next year when you try out for the team, what do you think is going to happen? Of course you're going to make it, because you got an agreement with the coach. Look, the coach said be a manager for this year, and you could be on the team next year. Doesn't mean you're going to get any playing time, doesn't mean you're going to get the ball, doesn't mean you're going to become a superstar, but you basically guaranteeing yourself a spot on the roster next year if you just humble yourself and take this opportunity this year. Now let me tell you what players would often say to me, and this is I wouldn't even say it's crazy, but this is just what would happen. Players would come to me and they would tell me this, and some would ask me what do I think before they made a decision, but others would tell me that they already made a decision. And this is what they would often say. They would say, I said no. I said no to the opportunity of being a team manager because I think I'm better than that. I think I was better than half the dudes who tried out for the team. I think I outplayed the leading scorer. I think and all my friends told me I was the best player at tryouts, but I didn't make the team. And now the coach trying to make me a manager. I think that's below me. I feel like I'm too good for that. I didn't take that opportunity. And I would say back to them, dummy, you just blew your chance. Now you ain't never going to make the team. Because you got too much. First of all, if you dominated tryouts, you were the best player in the gym, you would have made the team. You didn't make the team, you were not the best player in the gym. So I don't give a damn what you say or what any of your bum friends say, because none of your friends is a coach, and ain't none of your friends make the team either. So who cares what they said? You didn't make it, and now the coach offered you an opportunity to work your way in. You're not on the team anyway. What else you going to be doing all year? All right, it ain't like you got another team to play for. You go to school there. So you just blew your chance to get your foot in the door because you had a little bit too much ego and a little bit too much pride to take an opportunity that you think you are above that opportunity. But listen, if you were above the opportunity, it wouldn't have been presented to you in the first place. All right, do y'all understand what I'm saying? If you're above an opportunity, nobody's even presenting it to you. That's how you're above something. Someone's offering you something and you think you're too good for it. Well, obviously you're not, because they thought you weren't too good for it. That's why they offered it to you. That's why I said in the first point, no pride, no ego. You got to learn to put your ego to the side. Ego is a good thing. I wrote a whole book about having ego and believing in yourself and having an unbelievable level of confidence called the Super You. You can get it as part of Bulletproof Bundle with this book right here. I'll tell you about that in a minute. So I'm all for confidence. I'm all for believing in yourself. I'm all for being in touch with your ego. I'm all for having a level of confidence that some people will call arrogance or cockiness. I did a TED Talk on this exact subject. You can watch that if you go to toomuchconfidence.com. But the thing is this, you also have to be humble enough to know when you need to put your ego aside and do the work that will afford you the opportunity to be arrogant and cocky and egotistical. You got to earn egoism. You got to earn arrogance. You have to earn cockiness. You have to earn confidence. You can't just be cocky just because you decide you're going to be cocky. You ain't did any work and you ain't got no kind of skills, no kind of resume or track record to back up your cockiness. All right, then you're just a jerk. All right, people are just not like you. Now, if you're cocky and you can back it up, that's a whole different thing. There are athletes out there, Kobe Bryant, rest in peace. People said Kobe was cocky. They said he was arrogant, but Kobe backed it up with his performance on the court. And people say somebody like Floyd Mayweather, the boxer, he's cocky or he's arrogant or he talks too much, but he backs it up with his performance in the ring. So if you can back it up with something, that means you've earned it. You did the work. I mean, I think everybody can agree that even though we never saw Kobe working out, he didn't have cameras in the gym, he wasn't trying to Instagram, but we can all agree Kobe probably worked on his game pretty hard from the stories that we hear, whatever. Floyd Mayweather, we've seen it on the HBO documentaries. He was always working on his game. He earned his right to be cocky and arrogant. You got to earn your right to think that you're too good for something. If you haven't earned it yet, then you got to put your pride and ego aside, earn the right, work on your game, then you can feel that way after you have proven it, after you've proven it. Keyword, proven. Not just you worked on your game. Working on your game is a good thing. But the reason why you work on your game is so you can get out on that field or that court or that stage or that job interview or whatever you're doing and then prove it. That's the purpose of working on your game. So when I wrote this book, Work on Your Game, this is not the end of the journey. Working on your game is the beginning. You work on your game, then you get an opportunity, then you perform, and then you get the rewards. Okay, this is not the end, this is the beginning. Working on your game is the first thing. Point number 3, the topic here today, we are talking about the mindset that you need to have when you're trying to get on and create an opportunity for yourself in life. Understand that you are not a priority. You are not a priority when you're trying to get on. Or if you're the team manager of a basketball team, are you a priority? Hell no, you're not a priority. You're at the bottom of the list. You are the least important person on the team bus. Are you the least important person? You know how the team takes a picture? You ever see the basketball team picture where they got all the players sitting down, somebody's holding the basketball, you got the coaches on the side, and then you got some other people, you don't even know who they are? Those are the managers, all right? You're the least important person in that photograph, all right? You are not a priority when you're trying to get on, which means sometimes you will have to wait. Sometimes you're going to have to rush. Sometimes you're going to have to do extra. Sometimes you're going to be in situations that don't seem fair, and all of this is all part of the game, all right? Your time and your presence may not always be treated with the most respect when you're at the bottom of the totem pole and you're trying to get in. And this is just what you have to accept. This is just part of the game when you're trying to get in the game. And everybody who's gotten into the game has gone through this. They might not have announced it. They might not have broadcasted it. You might not know about it, but they went through these things. You just don't know about it. Just because you don't know about it doesn't mean it didn't happen. Just because you didn't see it doesn't mean it did not occur. So a lot of things you never seen and never knew about and you never will know about doesn't mean they didn't happen. It doesn't mean they aren't still happening. Kevin O'Leary on Shark Tank, he has these funny sayings that he says sometimes when entrepreneurs come on there, and he's telling them how their business idea is not going to work. He's like, you go into, for example, somebody has a food product and they want to go put their food product on grocery store shelves. He said, you go into the grocery business with that product and the way your business is set up, they're going to crush you like the little cockroach that you are. They're going to destroy you. They're going to step on you. They're going to rip your product off, put you out of business within a month, and you're going to go running home with your tail between your legs. And the whole point that he's making, I mean, some people don't only hear that and they don't really read between the lines of what he's saying. What he's saying is you are not a priority when you're brand new in the game. Very few people come into the game brand new and be a priority. The challenge for many of us, or many of you, is that you see those people because they get all the attention. See, when the #1 draft pick comes into the NBA and the whole team starts to get built around them their first year in the league before they even proven anything, everybody sees that. Oh, he just came in. He hasn't proven anything yet, but they're building everything around them. Understanding that person is the exception. That person is the anomaly. All right, the LeBron Jameses and the Zion Williamsons, they are the anomalies in the game. Most of the people who come in the game brand new, they don't get anything handed to them. Nothing is built around them. They are, for the most part, ignored, and they got to earn their way up. There was this player who came in, played in the league. His name is Michael Redd. He played for the Milwaukee Bucks, I believe his whole career, or at least most of his career. He played for the Milwaukee Bucks. He was on the Redeem team, 2008 Olympics, but he barely played that much with Kobe and LeBron, Chris Paul, and all those guys. And Michael Redd told the story that when he first came to the NBA, he was playing for the Milwaukee Bucks. This is when they had Sam Cassell, Glenn Robinson, and Ray Allen on the team. They were the big three on the team. And Michael Redd was this rookie. He was a shooting guard out of Ohio State. And he said the coach is a guy named George Karl. George Karl walked up to Michael Redd at the beginning of training camp, and he said, listen, rookie, I'm not the only reason that I'm going to need you. The only thing that I need you to be able to do is knock down an open three-point shot. And Michael Redd was known as a great shooter later in his career. When he first came in the league, he wasn't that great of a shooter. So George Karl said to him, what I need is somebody who can knock down an open three-point shot. And from what I see, you are not capable of doing that yet. So until you prove you can knock down an open three-pointer, I will be completely ignoring you. And Michael Redd said that's exactly what George Karl did. He said George Karl never acknowledged me. He never looked at me. He never said my name. And he was on the team. He was a rookie playing in the NBA, and the coach just completely ignored him. And the whole point that Michael Redd was making and telling that story that George Karl was making was, look, you are not a priority. Our priorities is Ray Allen, Sam Cassell, Glenn Robinson. They're the ones that's making all the money. They're the starters. They're the ones that fans, when we sell tickets to the games, they're not coming to see you, rookie. They're coming to see these dudes. So I'm prioritizing the people who are making us money and the people who are keeping me employed as a coach. You ain't doing anything. You ain't helping nobody do nothing. All right, you costing us more than you making us. So until you prove that you're worth something, I'm not paying you any mind. So remember that you are not a priority. Do not think you should be a priority. Put your pride and your ego aside. That's why I said it in the first point. Is why I keep reiterating it. Point number 4. Today's topic is your mentality when you're trying to get on in life. No promises, no guarantees. When Puff Daddy, I'll go back to Puff, I told you at the introduction. Before he got his internship at Uptown Records working for Andre Harrell, he got it through running up on this dude named Heavy D. And Heavy D is he was light-skinned, heavyweight, heavy-set rapper. He was like the overweight lover. He used to call himself that, the overweight lover. And he was from Mount Vernon, New York, but he was a really popular rapper in the late 80s, early 90s. Some of you, maybe one person who's listening to me right now remembers Heavy D. But anyway, Puff Daddy lived in Mount Vernon. He ran up on Heavy D, said, man, I really want to get in the game. Please give me an opportunity, give me a chance. And Heavy D took a liking to this kid, Puff Daddy at the time. And he said, Puff told the story. He said, Heavy D said to me, I'm not promising you nothing. He said, I'm not going to promise you anything, but I will put a word in with my man, and we'll see if we can get you a chance. That's all I'm gonna give you. I ain't giving you nothing else. There's nothing else you can go off of. Now get the hell out of my face. That's all I'm giving you. I ain't making you no promises. That's it. And Puff had to accept that. Why? Because he had no clout. He had no resume. He didn't have anything to go off of and say, well, yeah, well, you got to do this for me, or you got to do that. Like, why? Who are you? He was a nobody at the time. And this is the mentality that you have to have when you're trying to get on, when you're trying to get your opportunity. And even though you know there are no promises and there are no guarantees, you got to answer the question, are you in or you out? So when Andre Harrell went to Puff Daddy and said, look, I'll give you an internship, but I'm not paying you. Yes, you got to come to New York, even though you go to school in Washington, D.C. You got to come up here a couple times a week. I'm going to tell you what to do, and you do it. You in or you out? He didn't say, I'm going to teach you the music business. He didn't say, I'm going to put you in some videos. He didn't say, I'm going to give you a car. He didn't say, I'm promising you a job in 2 years. He said, this is it. This is all I'm offering you. Are you in or are you out? And if somebody's really in, if you're really in and you're really trying to get on, this should be a no-brainer. They ain't even got to ask you if you're in. It should be obvious that you're in. If you got to think about it and you're not sure, or you're like, well, this opportunity may not be as much as I was looking for, then you're not really serious about getting on. You may need to rethink if you're really trying to get on or not, or if you're in the right place. Maybe you're trying to get on in something that really you shouldn't be trying to get on in. But that's the question you got to ask yourself. Are you in or are you out? All right. And when it comes to pro basketball, for example, pro basketball is not a guaranteed thing. You got to have game to play pro ball. You got to learn how to get your name out there. And then when you get on that court, you got to prove that you have game. It's one thing to think you have game. It's another thing to prove that you have game. Therefore, nobody can guarantee you that anything's going to work for you, because you got to get on the court. You have to play. Nobody can make you play a certain way. You got to get on the court and do it. And the thing is, I'll hear from athletes all the time, especially who are trying to get into the pros. They're like, well, if I do this or I do that, if I go to this camp or I go to this academy, or if I get with this agent, or if I get this book that you're offering, Dre, is any of this going to guarantee me that I'm going to get an opportunity? Hell no. I'll tell you the same thing Heavy D told Puff Daddy. I ain't promising you a damn thing. But what I will promise you is I'll show you what you need to do. Now, whether you do it or not is up to you. I can't control what you do. I'll show you what you need to do. Now, whether you actually implement and execute is on you. I put all the information in the book. Now, it's on you to read the book, and it's on you to implement what's in the book. But all I can do is write the book. I wrote the book. Now, whether you're going to read it and implement it, only you can answer that question. So understand that you're either in or you're out. All right, and it ain't nobody else's responsibility which one you choose. Point number 5, this is the last one. The topic here today is the mentality you need to have when you're trying to get on in life. You are not the only person trying to get on. Keep this in mind. You are not the only person trying to get that internship. You're not the only player trying to make the basketball team. You are not the only rapper trying to get a contract. You ain't the only YouTuber trying to get a viral video. All right, you are not the only person. You're not the only guy trying to talk to that girl. All right, you are not the only one who's trying to get on. Therefore, you need to, number one, have a sense of urgency about what you're doing. Don't act like you have forever to get around to whatever it is you claim that you want to do. Number 2, humble yourself, put your pride and your ego aside, and if you get a chance to get your foot in the door, get your foot in the damn door. All right, get your foot in the door, put your foot in the doorway so that they can't close it on you, and stay in the room. All right, whatever you got to do to stay in the room, and once you're in, now you got to earn your way further in. All right, they let you come in the room. You ever walk into a room and you just walk right inside the doorway and you stand right there next to the door? All right, so you're in the room. All right, now you got to get invited deeper into the room. Now you got to get invited to a seat at the table. Now you got to be invited to speak. All right, now they got to invite you to actually eat some food that's at the table. All right, so there's levels to this. You understand? So once you get your foot in the door, you got to be so good that they don't kick you out the room. Okay? This is all part of the game. And understand, if you do get kicked out the room, or you get impatient, or you get in there and you don't deliver, guess what? There's 300 people waiting outside to take your spot. So if you leave, they will not miss you. All right, they won't remember that you was even there in the first place, because somebody will be in there taking your spot as soon as you walk out. This is all the framework mentality that you need to have when it comes to getting on in life. All right, I ain't even got to say nothing else, because I'm going to recap these points and I'll say it all anyway. The topic here today, for those who came in the middle of this, is the mindset that you need to have when you are trying to get on in life. The example I used was Puff Daddy. When he was trying to get on, he was on his hustle. So when he was trying to help other people get on, he put them through some stuff that some people said was crazy. Some people said he was just being a diva. But the fact is, he would have did it when he was trying to get on. From the stories that I heard, he absolutely would have did it because he was that serious about getting on. But the people he was trying to help get on, they were grumbling and bitching about it. I'm like, yo, he was like, yo, how could y'all be, what have any of you achieved? Nothing. And it's the same thing that you need to keep in mind. Point number one, no pride, no ego. When somebody tells you to walk to get them some cheesecake from Brooklyn and you in Manhattan and that's an hour and a half there and an hour and a half back, all right, you shouldn't even think twice about it. You're like, yes, sir, I'll go get you some cheesecake. Why? Because your mentality is you are trying to get on. And make sure you get them a bottle of water, too, to wash it down with. Point number two, the inconvenient job is a job that you want because nobody else will want to do it. That is your chance to get your foot in the door. When nobody else wants to do something, that's the opportunity that you take, and that's how you will take over. I heard Tony Yayo actually told this story about 50 Cent. And you heard 50 Cent's first album. Remember that song called Heat? Where he says, I'll kill you, I ain't playing, hear what I'm saying, homie, I ain't playing. That song, he said he was in the studio, it was him, Tony Yayo, 50 Cent, Dr. Dre produced that beat, and there's a bunch of rappers in there, and they was all trying to rap over that beat, and nobody could really get it, and 50's the one who took advantage of that rap. He took advantage of that beat and came up with the melody and the raps and all that, and that's how he got that beat from Dr. Dre, because a bunch of other rappers were trying to rap on it. They couldn't do it, but 50 took advantage of that opportunity. He got that song on his album. It's one of my favorite songs off that album. Point number three, you are not a priority, meaning sometimes you're going to have to wait to get your opportunity. Sometimes you're going to have to rush and move faster than you expected to. Sometimes you're going to have to do more work than you thought you had to do. Sometimes the job is going to change completely and the rug's going to get pulled up from under your feet. Why? Because you're not a priority. All right, nobody's worrying about you. And this is just what the game is when you're trying to get in. Like Kevin O'Leary says to the sharks on Shark Tank, not the sharks, but the entrepreneurs on Shark Tank, you're going to get crushed like the little cockroach that you are because you are not a priority in this game. But you can become one if you work on your game. Point number four, no promises, no guarantees. Like Heavy D told Puff Daddy, I ain't promising you a damn thing. But maybe you might get a chance. Maybe somebody will call your phone. Maybe I'll holler at you. But if I don't, I ain't promising you nothing. I don't owe you nothing. If you get on, you get on. If you don't, you don't. Your gain is not my responsibility. And point number five, you ain't the only one trying. Keep in mind that if you pass on an opportunity to get your foot in the door because you think you're too good or you got too much pride or too much ego, there are 200 people standing outside the room who are willing and ready to take your spot if you don't take advantage of the opportunity that is available to you. So these are all the mentalities you need to have when you're trying to get on in life. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to answer every question that we got in the comment section. So if somebody got a question, go ahead and post it. Keep it short. Make sure it's good and relevant to the topic. Before I do that, I'm going to tell you about these two books that you can get right here. That these books are already paid for. You can get both of these books for free. You get either one of them for free. You get both of them for free. I'm going to tell you how, where, and why. This book right here is called The Mirror of Motivation. It's a self-guide to self-discipline. I wrote this book for the person who is ready to shed the old you and step into the new version of you, which is going to bring you a whole new energy and is going to lead to different results in your life. Any of you ever watched National Geographic when the snake sheds its old skin? It just comes out of its skin and is in a brand new skin. All right, I'm going to show you how to do that exact same thing with this book here, The Mirror of Motivation. Because what you need to understand is that when you change your energy, you change who you're being as a person, and you change your energy, you can do the exact same actions that you were doing before, and you will get completely different results. That's what happens when you read this book, The Mirror of Motivation. This is part of the Bulletproof Bundle. If you want the whole bundle, there's a little box on the order form where you put your shipping information in, where it tells us where to send this, where you can get the whole Bulletproof Bundle, or you can just get the book. The book's already paid for. All you do is take care of the shipping. Go to mirrorofmotivation.com. That's the title. Just take out the mirrorofmotivation.com. Get this book. I paid for the book. You take care of the shipping. Mirror of Motivation. This book right here is called The Overseas Basketball Blueprint. This is all about this is all about and for the player who wants to play professional basketball overseas. I'll tell you every single thing you need to do, what you need to know, where you need to do it, why you need to do it, and how to do it. Is all in this book. It's called a blueprint. You know how they use blueprints to build buildings? See these buildings back behind me? Every one of them had a blueprint, and every one of them is standing, and they all look good, and there's people living in them, and all that. If you want to do the same thing for your basketball career, you need a blueprint. I wrote this book, Overseas Basketball Blueprint. Even if you've been overlooked, underrated, nobody's ever given you a chance, you feel like you are good enough to play pro, but nobody's really looking at you, get this book right here so that you can get your pro career started. Because listen, you ain't got forever to play pro basketball. Okay, you don't have 80 years. So you got like a 10 to 15 year window to make the most of your youth and your physical athletic ability and your talents. If you don't make the most of it, you're going to be one of those what if guys, 60 years old, standing on a corner somewhere with a 40 talking about what you was about to do. Don't be that person. Go to balloverseas.com. Get your free copy of the book. It's 237 pages. I've already paid for the book. You take care of the shipping. Balloverseas.com if you want to play professional basketball overseas. Now, all that being said, I am going to address, I see we had a few comments coming in here. So anybody got a question or comment, go ahead and, or actually a question. I'll address the questions. I think we got to make sure we get to those first. And I'll tell you about my book, Work on Your Game, momentarily. Curtis from ATL was good. Terry Stinson, 8, what up? Jay Houston, Texas. Ben A-Lot, appreciate you. Roadrunner says, oh no, your birthday's tomorrow. Happy birthday, early birthday. Jay from Canada, what's up? CGR_3, what's going on? He said the rap group, the band was lazy, they didn't have something. Well, some of them did at times. But again, remember, it's TV. So on TV, they make it look however they want it to look. Coach Kev, Jersey, what's going on? Ben says, pay your dues to work your way up. Of course. Ben says, taking a smaller role, how can I act confident without coming across like I think I'm too important? By performing. If you perform, then you become important. The definition, I talked about that in this book right here. Some people say, you ever heard somebody say the saying, is nice to be important, but is it more important to be nice? That's not true. It's important to be important. And so people don't know the definition of the word important. Important means having a significant effect on success. If you have a significant effect on people's success, you become important. And you have a right, you have earned the right to carry yourself as if you are. If you actually are. But you got to prove that you're important. You can't just say it or think it. You got to prove it. Kelby's mentality is one that everyone who wants to accomplish anything purpose in life needs to incorporate. Or so they say. Or so they say. I mean, those are the stories. Like I said, a lot of what we hear about Kobe is from somebody else telling the story. And I think some of it gets embellished over time. I think it's only going to get worse because he's not around to clear things up. But fine, if that works for you, it works for you. Coach Ish was good. Yeah, Heavy D passed away probably, I don't remember how long ago. Not too long ago. 10 years or less. He got Games says, I remember one of your videos talked about how nothing is guaranteed. You can't put anything off because you're telling the universe you have more time left on Earth, which isn't promised at all. Exactly. Nobody knows how much time they got left. So if you procrastinate and put things off, you are basically saying you know that you have more time, which makes no sense because you don't know. Nobody knows how much time they got. So Puffy got Jamaican guy for complaining and walking to get the cheesecake. Puff helped him get out of a legal situation that could have resulted. Yeah, Dylon, I remember that. Andy was good. Coach Kev said, what if someone said, I want to incorporate all the points you said, but I don't want to seem like a pushover? When and where does your integrity come into play? I don't know what you mean. A pushover for what? You mean like trying to get on and just being humbling yourself? Listen, if you're trying to get an opportunity, you got to take whatever chance you can get. You don't have to be a pushover to take an opportunity. I mean, Puff wasn't a pushover when he got his internship. He was just trying to get a gig. When I was trying to get on overseas, I wasn't a pushover. I was just trying to get my foot in the door because I knew once I got my foot in the door, I could prove that I could play. And then everything would be easier from that point forward. So it's not about being a pushover and nobody's taking advantage of you. You're trying to get on. You want somebody to take advantage of your presence so you can prove yourself. And then you can start to name your price. That's the whole point of the game. Question is, Dre, what's the best to deal with failure? You got to ask me a more specific question than that. That's a little bit too, that question is too broad, too general. But I would suggest, if you don't have this book already, Roadrunner right here, mirrorofmotivation.com. The book is paid for. All you do is take care of the shipping. This will help you deal with failure. It'll actually help you create success so you ain't got to worry about failure. If you're worrying about failure, you are focusing on the wrong thing. Savage Fitness was good. Chlor G1 says, does the book talk about people who are introverted individuals on opening up? That would be the leadership bundle. Those are my 3 books about building rapport, leadership, and creating relationships. You can get that at workonmygame.com/LB for leadership bundle. LB, leadership bundle. If that's specifically what you want to learn about. But I would suggest you start with this book right here, Work on Your Game. Use the pro athlete mindset to dominate your game in business, sports, and life. You can get this at workonyourgamebook.com. Workonyourgamebook.com. Question is about people who are introverted on opening up. So that's the book that can help you. Also the leadership bundle. I would suggest you get both. The leadership bundle is 3 books. It's 25 Reasons to Quit Worrying, 25 Conversation Starters, and 55 Daily People Skills. So those 3 plus this, that's 4 books. I give you plenty of reading material. Savage says, gotta order bulletproof bundles today and quit bullshitting. Yeah, do that. Just go to mirrormotivation.com and then click the button to get the bundle. You get a better deal than if you just get the bundle by itself. Get the bundle by itself, you're paying for all 4 books. You get the bundle through this. This book is already paid for. You only got to cover the other 3. Yeah, Game says, when you get a TV deal, we need a longer show from you. Hey, if the bag is right, we do some TV. But the bag got to be right. Ricardo Desir from Jenkintown. Shout out to Jenkintown. Said, as you know, you got the goods and you got to do what you got to do. Yeah, I mean, that's why I say work on your game. I mean, working on your game is the first step. When you work on your game, then you know you have the ability to deliver. And when you know you can deliver, then you're willing to do whatever just to get on. You're willing to take a free internship to get on because you know you have the game. That when you get in the door, you're going to show your hustle so much that eventually somebody's going to pay you. So you already know that it's going to work out. The only time you would be hesitant to maybe take that opportunity is if either A, you have an opportunity to get paid that you're weighing this against, so then you ain't got to take the no paid gig, or B, you don't really have that much game, so you're not sure if you're going to prove yourself. But if you know you'll prove yourself, then you'll take whatever opportunity you can get, because you know once you get in there, they're going to see you and they're going to be like, damn, this guy or this girl can go. We need to hire them. We need to pay them. We need to make them full time. We need to sign them to a contract if you have game. But that's why you got to work on your game. You see how I put the whole thing together for y'all. All you got to do is follow what I'm giving you, do the work, and everything's going to work out. So I'll take like 1 or 2 more questions. Anybody got them? I'm going to tell you about these books one more time. This one right here, The Mirror Motivation, The Self-Guide to Self-Discipline. So you can shed the old you, step into the new you right now. Not next week, not 30 days from now, right now. As soon as you get the book in your hands, go to mirrorofmotivation.com. The book is already paid for. All you got to do is take care of the shipping. This right here, the Overseas Basketball Blueprint. For those who want to play professional basketball overseas, or if you know somebody who wants to, get this book and give it to them as a gift. All right, they will love you for it. And look, you ain't got to pay for the book. All you got to do is take care of the shipping. So you're basically giving them a gift. They're going to love you for giving them this gift, was going to help them get a career, and you didn't even have to spend any money. I mean, I'm giving you a great plan right here. So any of you know some ball players who might be thinking about playing pro, get them this. balloverseas.com. This is a 237-page book. Everything you need to know to start a pro career, even if you're coming from a small school, unheralded background, nobody knows you, you never got a chance, you've been overlooked your whole career. balloverseas.com. I appreciate that, Coach Kev. Andre Penny official, what's going on? So I'm gonna wait, see if we get one more question. I'll tell you about this book right here while I wait. This book right here, Work on Your Game, using the pro athlete mindset to dominate your game in business, sports, and life. This is hardcover version of the book. This is me taking all of my philosophy. Listen, y'all see I do these lives every single day for the 45 minutes. If I took everything that I ever thought of and talked about and put it in a book, it would be the size of this building. But I took my best material and condensed it down to 250 pages, and I made this book right here. So this right here is going to give you the whole framework of this whole philosophy. It's a 4-part framework, and I explain to you not only how it works for you mentally, but also how you can apply this at work, how you apply it when you're dealing with other people, how you apply this when you're trying to get mentored, if you're trying to get into a new industry, if you're trying to transition from one game to another, if you're trying to deal with the negativity coming from within yourself, the negativity from other people. These are all things that I had to deal with, all things that I did. So I'm not talking about nothing that I have not done. I'm not talking about nothing that is not proven. I'm not talking about anything that I have not taught to other people. It is all here in this book. Work on your game. Not only do you get this book, this hardcover, while you're waiting for this to arrive in the mail, this is what we're going to give you. I'm going to give you over $1,000 worth of free digital bonuses along with your order. You can access the digital stuff now while you wait for the book to come in the mail. That's only when you get this book at workonyourgamebook.com. Now, this book is available on Amazon, iBooks, Audible, everywhere else. But if you order it there, which you can, is you're right, those bonuses are not available. If you want the bonuses, you got to get it at workonyourgamebook.com. So and nobody tell me that I didn't tell you that. Workonyourgamebook.com, you get is actually $1,200+ in bonuses, digital immediate access bonuses, and the book. Now, if you order it somewhere else, all you get is the book. All right, and it's up to you. It's your money. You do what you want. Now, I don't think we got any more questions, so I'll tell everybody this. Every single day I'm going live, 5:15 p.m. Eastern. Every single day I go live on Instagram at DreBaldwin, Facebook is Facebook/work on your game. If you missed the replay, if you ever missed one of the replays of one of these, it's on IG for 24 hours. But on my Facebook page, which is Facebook/work on your game, y'all know the Facebook videos don't go away. So you can watch the replays of any live that I've done this year. They're all on my Facebook page right now. You can go watch them. I do put these on YouTube too, but I got a schedule on YouTube. So this video on YouTube probably won't come out till damn July, because I got a lot of videos that got to come out on YouTube. So if you want to watch the replay of this, 24 hours IG, then just watch it on Facebook. Everybody have a great Saturday. We will be going live again tomorrow with a new topic. If you like this one, you're going to love tomorrow's. Work on your game. We out here. Dre all day.